Yo, what's up, guys? Quick live stream. We're going to go through some early player prop bets for Friday, as well as the NFL this weekend. So one of the tacos cashed. I feel like I have to say this in every live stream, but not every play is going to win, especially when we're placing 5-pick parlays on PrizePicks. So we had some decent wins on PrizePicks. Same with ParlayPlay, where the optimal slip type on this platform, the optimal play that you can go with on ParlayPlay is a 6-pick parlay. So it does matter how many picks you go with on Underdog Fantasy on PrizePicks. So you'll notice on Underdog, they give you a 6x payout for 3-pick entries. So we have some good looking plays on Underdog Fantasy. Some of these are from the live stream, right? It's 100 to win 600. So it's a 6x payout. Whereas ParlayPlay, they only give you a, They only give you a 5x payout for these 3-pick entries. So long story short, on PrizePicks, the optimal slip type is a 5 or a 6-pick flex play, right? So it's a 10x payout. We're not going to win every single one. But regardless, placing a bunch of plays with an edge, hopefully we make some money. That's the goal. So what we can do is we can look for some early value, for this weekend as well as tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a full slate of NBA. So I'll just keep firing, right? Like whenever I find plays with an edge, sometimes there's a lot of good bets available, sometimes not as many. So, depending on the day, sometimes I have a lot of bets, sometimes it's kind of less so. So the first play you can see is Nico Dawes. So this is a play in CS2. I've explained this before, but I don't give a shit what I'm betting on, right? You can see here we have basketball and football. Here we had NBA plus college football plus esports. You shouldn't care what sport you're betting on. The same concepts of how to get an edge, how to make money, right? It applies to any sport. Some people, I only bet on the NFL. It's like, I love the NFL. I love watching. But what's great about esports is, every single day there are like 100 games. You can see Underdog Fantasy has tens of thousands of lines available just in esports. All these books set their own lines. They set lines independently. The odds on PrizePicks, the lines on PrizePicks are different from Underdog Fantasy. So, sometimes there's really good plays in esports, which isn't surprising because there's so many games, right? So all this betting tool does, this OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer right here, is it just points out discrepancies. It points out value, and value is, what you want to see as a sports bettor. So you can see this player, Nico Dawes. PrizePicks has his line at 19.5 headshots. Underdog's at 17, right? So this is valuable information, right? This is what you want to see as a sports bettor, discrepancies. Like imagine if Austin Reeves, his points line was 17 on Underdog and 19.5 on PrizePicks. You'd be like, damn, that's crazy, right? So discrepancies are what we want to see. But again, what kind of sucks about esports is there's just not a ton of data points. So if we look at this player, his headshots line, there's only 2 books posting lines, PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy, for player headshots. So it's not really clear like which book is screwing up, which play has the edge, right? Is it the over 17 we want to be on Underdog, or the under 19.5 on PrizePicks? So plays like this are good to middle bet. So we don't talk a ton about middle betting, but middle betting, it's kind of like if you could buy a stock at $17 on Fidelity, right? Buy low, sell high, right? Bet him over 17, under 19.5 on PrizePicks. It's all possible because all these books set lines independently, which again makes sports betting really unique. You think about the price of a stock, there's one price, right? Facebook stock, you go to Fidelity, E-Trade, Robinhood. This is the price, $288.35. The sports betting market is super fragmented, super inefficient. All these books set lines independently, which is why there's a lot of opportunity, right? Because we can compare books, as a data-driven sports bettor and find plays with an edge. But anyways, this play I won't middle bet, hit the over 17, the under 19.5. This play we can just skip over because there's some other good plays available, some other big discrepancies that we can take a look at. And I'm going to keep this live stream short. Before I go to bed, I'm watching the show on John Gotti, but anyways, that is not relevant. But before I kind of call it a night, I like to just see if there's any good early value for the upcoming day. Sports betting is something you can do 24/7. There's always good bets available. So I kind of like to just check throughout the day. Sometimes there's really big line discrepancies early in the morning. Sometimes it's late at night, kind of depends on the day. So what we can do is we can find some plays. So let's start here on Underdog Fantasy. So you can see this player, Norb3R7. If we just take a look at his line, Underdog has him at 27.5, right? A lot of people think the way to beat sportsbooks is you create some magical model that can predict the future. It's like, no offense, I don't care how smart you are. You're not going to create a better model than PrizePicks, a billion-dollar company, for setting lines, or Underdog Fantasy. That's why betting with your gut or creating your own model is bullshit, right? Like, you're never going to be smarter than the market. So the way you beat the books is you ruthlessly compare their lines to one another and you find discrepancies. You find plays with an edge. If you think you can predict what, Jared Goff is going to do this weekend smarter than everyone else, smarter than the sports books, these billion-dollar companies, you're crazy. It's not going to happen. But anyways, we can see this player is an interesting discrepancy. Underdog has his line at 27.5. PrizePicks is lower at 26.5. Jock Market even lower than that at 25.5. And then you can see Hot Streak, which is another sports book. Again, even if you don't use Hot Streak, it's still a book setting lines with a sophisticated model. So you want to treat, all these books as a data point. All these books have his line significantly lower. So it's like, okay, we probably want to take the under. Pretty simple, right? We're just using market information to make good bets. It's kind of like if you could buy Facebook at $200, you'd be crazy to say no to that. If I told you, hey, you want my Facebook stock for $200, it's trading in the market, which is the point of equilibrium of all investors, all these big hedge funds, trading firms, investors. They wake up every single day and their full-time job is thinking, is Facebook undervalued or overvalued? And this is the current price. So you'd be crazy if you didn't buy it at $200, right? Because you could go sell it in the market at $288.35. So we're using market information to make informed bets. So what we can do is we can go back here and let's take a look. Right, so we have one good play, but again, on Underdog Fantasy, the optimal slip type is 5-pick insured entries or 3-pick entries. So you can see we have some good 3-pick entries if you were on the previous live streams. Really good 76ers Bucks game. Did the Lakers win? The Lakers lost. Okay, they ended up winning. I was going to say that would be a joke. Well, was a little worried, but what we can do is we can go back here and let's just find some plays. So now we need a pair. So find plays with an edge. Hit the bets, rinse and repeat. That's literally how simple it is to make money sports betting. I used to be a trader, and all you do is you think, does this trade have an edge? You make the trade. Sometimes you'll make money, sometimes you'll lose money, but because you have the edge, the advantage, you're going to win long term due to the law of large numbers. So anyways, you can see there's a bunch of other plays. But a lot of these are in the same game. So it kind of sucks about Underdog Fantasy is you're not going to be able to include plays in the same game. But there is this play on Flit, which is a different game, same team, different game. We want to take him under 31.5. So if we go back here, under 31. So where's this play? Under 31, all these other books have his line at 29.5. So you really don't need to know more than that. Even if you watch, every NFL game, everyone who bets on the NFL watches the NFL. You're not going to create better projections for where a player's passing yards line should be set than the rest of the market. Derek Carr's at 236.5. You're not going to outsmart the rest of the market, every other sports bettor, these billion-dollar sports books, just by watching fucking Derek Carr highlights. It's stupid, right? The way you're going to beat these books is you find these discrepancies, find plays with an edge relative to the other books. So anyways, the next play we want to be on is right here. We want to take him under 31. Damn, so that plays in the same game? So no, sorry, I apologize. We want to take him under 30.5 because we're not going to be able to include plays in the same game. So there's value on both his unders. So if we go back here, there's value on his under in the second game as well as the first game. So it seems like Underdog Fantasy in general, and of course, they're not going to let me include it. Your current selections, please select multiple teams. So maybe they will. So they will let me submit it, but I need one more pick that I can go with. So I can refresh this. And again, all these plays, they're all in the same game. So I'm just taking the highest profit margin play, which is the top one, the biggest discrepancy. I don't let my gut get in the way. I never just wake up and fucking bet random shit with my gut, because that's not how you make money. Ooh. So we have some plays popping up, which is great. So if you take a look here, we kind of want to stop at, like yellow is not good. You want to take these plays in green. So if we go to the next play, you can see we're on Jrue Holiday, under 11.5 rebounds plus assists. And then we have Ben Simmons over 12.5 as an option, or we could just play this as a 3-pick entry. So maybe we just play this as a little 3-pick entry. So 3 unders, 2 esports. It looks like the most random slip of all time. Just like a lot of these other slips, it's like, what the heck is this? But if that's where the value is, that's what we're going to be betting. And then we can see too, it's like, we obviously cashed the taco. That looks horrible on PrizePicks. Some of these other plays, overall not looking too hot on PrizePicks, but looking better on Underdog Fantasy. So that's just kind of how it goes. Not going to win every play. But anyways, here's the play I want to go with. $100 3-pick entry with no insurance. Again, Underdog, they give you a 6x payout, which is pretty good, for these 3-pick entries. And here's what we want to lock in. Not able to determine your location. So let's go here. And let's see if I'm logged in here. So let me just stop sharing my screen for a second and re-log in. And then I'm going to lock in this play. We could not detect your location. Okay. Allow. There we go. Now it's loaded up. So let's go back here. And then let me share my screen. And let's look for some plays. So this is a play I want to lock in on Underdog, but I'm not sure why it's not. Now are you verifying my location? So yes, I will. Allow. Okay. So now let's go here, and we want to take Holiday. Under 11.5 rebounds plus assists, we want to take Flit under. And again, like the benefit of placing bets early is you'll notice, like if you check before game time, a lot of these plays won't be available. Like the best bets, they're not going to last forever. It's just like the best trades, investments won't last forever. It's very similar here is you'll notice sports books will bump lines down. So you want to try to move quickly and get your bets in whenever value occurs. I'll place bets for Sunday, now, who cares? So anyways, we got our first play down. Now let's refresh this, and then we'll head over to PrizePicks, ParlayPlay, and Flip. So we locked in some good value here. Again, this top play it's a big discrepancy, 17 versus 19.5. It's crazy if you think about it, right? Like it's crazy how inefficient, how fragmented this market is. And you may be like, oh, well, esports, whatever. Like, I don't know anything about it. Should I bet on it? It's like, it doesn't matter if you know anything about esports or not. The point is PrizePicks has this guy's line at 19.5, right? And Underdog Fantasy has his line at 17. It doesn't matter if you're betting on rushing attempts in the NFL, points in the NBA. It's crazy. It's like seeing a stock at $17 on one platform and $19.50 on another platform. It's just like, this is data, right? So anyways, let's start out with ParlayPlay next. So again, I always recommend having as many books as possible. Like we just cleared out, most of the good plays on Underdog Fantasy, but depending on the day, sometimes there's, more bets on PrizePicks. Sometimes there's more opportunity on ParlayPlay. Or Underdog Fantasy. So I use all these platforms. Like ParlayPlay is a platform, I'm up $5,000 profit on, and they only, 20% ROI, and they only have a max bet size of $60 on this platform. A max bet size of $60 on ParlayPlay. But again, sometimes there's, really good bets on ParlayPlay. Other times there's more value on Underdog Fantasy. So you can see they actually already bumped up this player from 4 to 4.5. So some of the value went away. So they're bumping. But what we can do is we can kind of see, are there any other crazy picks we want to go with? Any other good plays with an edge? Enough to place a bet. So again, on this ParlayPlay platform, it works very similar to Underdog Fantasy and PrizePicks in that if you take a player's over or under, right, these platforms have fixed payouts. I'm always placing these 6-pick parlays on ParlayPlay, and they have a 40x payout. And again, like this is a platform, we take Tyreek Hill's over or his under, doesn't matter. You're always getting the same payout, right? It doesn't matter. Any 2-pick entry will have a 3x payout. Any 6-pick entry will have a 40x payout. So why is his over the sharp pick? Well, take a look at the sports books, right? They all have his over heavily favored. Tyreek Hill's over is, minus 142, minus 148. So even if you don't use FanDuel, Caesars, DraftKings, these are $10 billion companies with really sophisticated models, good data feeds, yada, yada. And they're all telling you, hey, Tyreek Hill's over, that's the more likely outcome. That outcome should be favored. The over is a lot more likely. So this is a good pick to go with. So we have our second pick. Now we're about to have our third pick. And then we just need 5, or we just need 6. So again, I follow a completely, data-driven approach. I am just going to follow the data, lock in my bet, kind of call it a day. Nothing complicated going on here. So what we can do is we can refresh this, see what other plays are out there. Pittman under 5.5 receptions. So it's like, okay, we now have, our 5th pick. But again, the optimal slip type is 6-pick entries. If you kind of go through the math behind this platform. So I'm not going to be able to include 2 plays from the same game. So we have Penix under 3 passing touchdowns. Maybe we take Terry under 5 receptions. So whatever. We can just kind of lock in these plays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. None of these picks are in the same game. No correlation to worry about. So just kind of like whatever. Lock in this max bet size of $60. Just following the data, placing these 6-pick parlays, and here's what I got on. Right? So the reason you want to have a bunch of different sports books is, again, all these books have different lines. So sometimes there's really good bets on ParlayPlay. Other times it's Underdog. Other times it's PrizePicks. It's kind of sports betting 101. You want to use a bunch of sports books. Oh, baby. We got some plays showing up. So check out this. Jokic over 21.5 points plus assists. This play just popped up. So if we want to get another underdog play in, what we can do is we can go here. Whoa, 21.5 rebounds plus assists. I apologize. They're playing the Grizzlies. Pretty high stat line. So I already have a play on this player. Again, the hard part is really just getting down the volume. Underdog Fantasy, they give me a max bet size of, if you take a look, it's just $100. And I can't include the same play twice. So it's $100 max. I'm kind of working with what I'm working with. So I already played this player flit. I'm not going to be able to include him again, right? This play, again, there's only one data point, so maybe we skip it over and take this. And I already took this play on Bolden in an earlier entry. I think I did. So you can see I'm already on this play on Bolden. So anyways, this is what we're going to want to go with next. And it's Ben Simmons over 12.5 rebounds plus assists. So we can go here and we can lock in one more underdog play before we go on to so let's go here before we go on to PrizePicks. So we want to take Jokic's over, Simmons over, and Murr's under, right? So Murr under 31. And again, this isn't super complicated. Once you understand, these concepts, like if I ask most people, hey, what do you want to buy Facebook stock at, $200? The answer should be pretty clearly a yes. But it's like once you understand and really internalize, like, hey, this is the price of equilibrium, right? Any smart investor can buy and sell every day. This is the fair price where supply and demand is equal, right? That's the fair price. So obviously getting it at 200 when the market's saying it's at 288.35 would be a no-brainer. So it's kind of the same thing here. Once you just have a understanding of data, markets, stuff like that, you just kind of, it's very easy to just bet you kind of start to internalize like, hey, some plays are going to win. We're going to have some good days. Some plays won't win. But if all the plays have an edge, we're going to make money long term. So especially when you're playing on these 6-pick parlay websites like ParlayPlay, right? You're getting a 40x payout. You're betting 60 to win 2.4K. You're not going to win even 10% of your plays. If you were able to win 10% of your 6-pick parlays, you'd be the best sports bettor of all time, right? You lose 9 plays, so you're down 540, and then you go up 2.4K, right? This is only $60 to win 2,400. So you're not going to win, right, every single play. It's about long-term focus, kind of looking at your stats after a month, right, of following the data, not betting random shit with your gut. So we can move on to PrizePicks. I mean, we can also check out the positive EV tool, see if there's any plays on Fliff. It looks like there's some good value on PrizePicks for tomorrow, but like, hey, take a look at this, right? Ben Simmons over 6.5 assists, no other book offering better than plus 100. Most other books, minus 105, minus 123. So when you're betting on, platforms like Underdog, it's a little more complicated because you need at least 2 picks, right? These are parlay-only platforms. Make 2+ picks. You can't just play Jokic over 21.5, and there's no odds, right? The way that Underdog works is they have fixed payouts. Any 3-pick entry has a 6x payout. But when you're betting on sports books, it's really simple. You just want to find value in the market. It's really that simple. So Ben Simmons over 6.5 assists looks like a great play. We're getting this at plus 110 on Fliff. So we can go back here. And before we move on to PrizePicks, we can just kind of take a look at, we can lock in this play. So we want to go to the Nets game. So tomorrow I'll probably have more bets on these live streams just because there's more going on, right? There's more games tomorrow. Like when I was a trader, sometimes the market's really busy. There's a lot of trades. There's a lot of things happening, earnings reports. There's new information in the market, elections, stuff like that. Whereas some days it's more slow, not much is happening. So you don't make a ton of trades. It's kind of the same thing in sports betting. You don't want to wake up every day and be like, I'm going to place 30 bets, right? Sometimes there's a lot of value. There's a lot of sports going on. Tomorrow we have college football, World Series, NBA. Once college basketball starts, there's going to be opportunity everywhere. So the number of bets you want to place on a daily basis, it just kind of depends on how much opportunity there is. And also how many sports books you use, right? Like I've used basically every sports book you can think of: DraftKings, FanDuel, Win, Caesars, Unibet, Barstool, BetParks. Every single one I've used. I've lived in different states solely to bet on sports. Is sometimes, the more books you have, the better. All these books have different promos they run. Most of these books have deposit bonuses. So most of these books, they literally give you free money for signing up, right? Like on ParlayPlay, you put in 100, you get 100 for free. Like, why would you not sign up? It takes 2 minutes to sign up. You put in 100, you get $100 for free. It's the easiest money you'll ever make. So PrizePicks has a fair amount of opportunity. So that's good for us. We want to see opportunity. So where do we want to start? So I can refresh this. A nice kind of bounce around from book to book. Another strategy I really like is arbitrage betting. So this, you're not going to be able to do it on PrizePicks or Underdog, but there's probably a fair amount of books legal in your location, like any of these 3. Is arbitrage is when these books get super out of sync. You can bet the over on one book, the under on another book, and make a risk-free profit. So this is actually how I started sports betting, arbitrage betting. And you're literally day trading the sports books. Like I say that this is literally free money. This is what got me sold on sports betting and how much money you can make sports betting is arbitrage betting. It's making risk-free profits. Risk-free profits because books have different odds from one another. So when they get super out of sync, like right here, FanDuel has this guy's under at minus 128. DraftKings is all the way down at minus 175. So when there's a huge discrepancy between books, you can bet the over on one book, in this case DraftKings, the under on another book, FanDuel, and make a risk-free profit. Free money. It's like, what the fuck? What is better than that? I got addicted to this. I would get home from work every single day and just arbitrage bet, right? Slowly but surely build my bankroll through arbitrage betting. So all you need to do when you're arbitrage betting is use multiple sports books, and you got to be quick. You got to know how to navigate these books quickly, because the best arbitrage bets, they're not going to last forever, just like any good line on Underdog Fantasy. But let's say whatever you have, again, you can tailor it to your bankroll. But let's say, whatever, this is what I would do. I started out with like very small arbs, just making $1 in profit, built it up. But let's say you have $400 on DraftKings or $250, whatever it is, $300. This calculator, right? So you're going to bet $300 on DraftKings. It tells you, hey, go bet $395.79 on FanDuel, and you'll make a risk-free $9.21. So what I usually recommend doing is round your numbers, right? Round down to $395. Don't bet $395.79 and sketch out the sports books. Just bet $395, round your numbers. But for the sake of example, we can imagine you do bet exactly that amount, and then you can just kind of go through the math, right? So hopefully you're able to get this arbitrage bet down if you use DraftKings and FanDuel. But if he goes over, we just need to figure out our profit. So if he goes over, on DraftKings, we win 300 times 1.35, right? I said we're betting $300 at plus 135 odds. So we go up $405. On FanDuel, we lose $395.79. We're up $9 in profit, right? Exactly like it says here. Again, I usually recommend rounding your numbers, but for the sake of example. Now, if he goes under, we lose our bet on DraftKings of $300. Right? And on FanDuel, we go up $395.79 times 100 over 128. We bet $395.79 at minus 128 odds. So our profit's $309. We make $9 no matter what happens, right? You're day trading the sports books, the inefficiencies in the market. But again, you got to move quickly. Oh, shit. So you can see a bunch more just popped up. Desmond Bain rebounds, right? So I would literally get home from work, pull up these arbitrage bets, hit this one, make some money, go over to this one, hit it, make a risk-free $5, or depending on what your bankroll is, you can bet these bigger, make a risk-free $10, $20, who cares? There's also some really good live arbitrage bets, but I don't recommend for anyone live arbitrage betting until you really get the hang of normal arbitrage betting, because everything moves so quickly when you're live betting. So you have to know how to navigate these books quickly, how to get to markets. Speed is important as a day trader. It's always important, whether you're betting on sports, trading options, whatever. Like, you can't be late after an earnings report, right? Like, if you're trying to put a trade on, you can't wait 3 hours. The market moves. But anyways, there's some good plays for tomorrow. So you can see lines are ripping towards Jaylen Brown's over. So it's not always clear, like, why are lines moving at a certain time. Sometimes it's like, players get injured, whatever. So sometimes there's like injuries, official starting lineups. So like, I think I lost one play on Fliff today and won one. Maybe I lost two, I forget. But Grayson Allen, like, sportsbooks ripped odds towards his over 1.5 assists once it was announced that Booker was out, right? Like, once Booker's out in the Suns game, Grayson Allen's going to be getting more playing time. So that led to some good opportunities on Fliff, right? Because again, books, when Booker was out, you saw every sportsbook rip odds towards Grayson Allen's over an assist. With Booker out, Grayson Allen's going to get more minutes. But anyways, we can go to PrizePicks, and let's take a look at some of these plays. So the first play we have is Jaylen Brown over 19.5 points. Pretty low points line for the highest for the highest paid player in the NBA. Then we have Xavier Tillman under 3.5 assists. So these are all just from the OddsJam Positive EV tool. Anything else? So just these two plays on PrizePicks that have the line set at the same level. So again, like, the way that Underdog works, PrizePicks, is just like Underdog. They always give you the same payout. You take an over or an under. So the reason the under is the sharp pick, right, is all the books have the under heavily favored. All the books are telling you, hey, Xavier Tillman, he's a lot more likely to go under as opposed to over. So if we go back here, like if you go through the math behind PrizePicks, what you'll see is to be profitable on PrizePicks, all you got to do to make money on PrizePicks long term is be able to win these over-unders, like on Tillman's over-under 3.5 assists. You just got to be able to win these picks above 54.25% of the time. But that's not easy, right? Like you have to win these over-unders 55% of the time, only losing 45% to be profitable. So it all boils down to win rate, right? And again, PrizePicks business model is they assume you don't have an edge. If you don't have an edge, you're going to win these picks 50% of the time. You're going to lose 50%, right? And if you're winning 50% of these over-unders and you're losing 50%, that means you have no edge. You're going to get crushed. Your ROI is going to be negative 25%, which is really bad. So you have to win 54.25% of your picks to be profitable. And the way you're going to do that is, again, comparing the lines on PrizePicks to sportsbooks. All the sportsbooks are telling you, hey, Tillman's under is a lot more likely. He's a huge favorite to go under 3.5 assists. So again, we take his over or we take his under, we get the same payout. So the only thing that makes sense to do is take his under, because the under is super heavily favored on all these sports books. Minus 145, minus 146. Like, it's not just one sports book. You have dozens of data points. These are just the sports books in New York. If you switch your state, you'll see there's like literally dozens of sports books all telling you the same thing. Xavier Tillman's a lot more likely to go under as opposed to over. So that's the sharp pick, we want to be on. So that's our second pick on PrizePicks. And again, I'll try to move quickly because not all these plays, they're not going to last necessarily a long time. Also have Ben Simmons over 6.5 rebounds. So we already have a play on Ben Simmons, but if you want to double down, his rebound line also seems good. So we can go to the Nets game and quickly lock in this. So this is your profit margin, 1.83%. So 1.83%, I'm going to bet 250. So the profit margin on this bet, or the edge on this bet, is 1.83% times 250. So we want to take Simmons over in assists. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Over in rebounds. I already bet his assists. And again, they only have a max bet size of 250 on this platform. And you want to use Fliff cash. These Fliff coins are just, it's fake money. Like it's not real money. You want to use Fliff cash. Like this does absolutely nothing. Betting 980,000 coins. But anyways, so we have a couple picks on PrizePicks, which is great. But ideally, we can find some more plays to go with. So I can refresh this. And we can take a look. So the first way that you can find good plays on PrizePicks with an edge, and again, PrizePicks, it all boils down to, can you win your over-unders above 54.25% of the time? So the first way you can find good bets is, again, here, sportsbooks all have the line for Tillman at the same level as PrizePicks at 3.5, but they all have the under super heavily favored, right? Like all the books are saying, hey, his under is a huge favorite, minus 155, minus 135, whatever. His under super heavily favored. So that's a play winning above 54.25% of the time. But what you need to consider also is like, okay, what if books have the line at different levels, right? So you take a look here, Jaren Jackson, Underdog has his line at 27.5. Like we're, again, like even if you don't use these books, they're data points. All these books have Jaren Jackson's line at 28, 27.5, 27.5, 27.5. It's pretty clear that PrizePicks has Jaren Jackson's line too high, which is different because here for Tillman, all the books have his line at 3.5 assists. What makes this play good, again, it all boils down to, does this play have a win rate above 54.25%? But what makes this play good is all the books have his under super heavily favored, minus 155 favorite. Whereas here's a little different because all the books have the line lower, which is why the under would be a sharp pick to go with. Damn, there's some hockey plays as well. I mean, there's a lot of bets on PrizePicks right now. So again, in general, you just want higher profit margin plays. So you can kind of see here, there's a play on, Hornick. Anything with a win rate above 54.25% is going to be good to go on PrizePicks. So you can see, right, his under heavily favored on all the books. So all the sports books are telling you, hey, this guy's a lot more likely to go under as opposed to over. So if we go back to the Canucks game and we look at player props, player points. So again, you may not use Fliff. It doesn't fucking matter. You still want to look at their odds, right? They have his under as a pretty big favorite, right? His under is a lot more likely. So why would you take his over? Why do you think you're smarter than these billion-dollar companies, these sports books? It would make no sense. You'd be crazy. Take his under. That's the favorite outcome, the more likely outcome. Braden Shen, also not to score a point. So you kind of have some different options here that you could go with, or that we could go with. Jokic over 21.5 rebounds plus assists. We're already on that play, so maybe we don't include it again. But you can see there are some insane discrepancies right now. So here's another play. This is CS2. So unfortunately, my betting limits are a little low on PrizePicks. I beat them up too bad. But you can see here, PrizePicks is the one screwing up. And a lot of people will say things like, oh, you're not considering what, Barbashev did last game. He scored a point, and you're taking his under. It's like everything is baked into the market. Lineups, everything is baked into the market. Like, I don't think people consider that. A lot of people, they look at these charts of the last 5 games, and they go, oh, I see a lot of green. He went over. Let me take his over. That's not how you bet, right? Like everything, weather, lineups, injuries, it's all baked into the market. The same way Grayson Allen, the second Booker was injured, books start to update his odds, and they have his overs much more favored because he's more likely to get playing time with Booker out. So anyways, this play seems good. PrizePicks has the line at 30.5. All the other books, 28.5, 27.5. So it's like, okay, like that seems like a pretty good play to go with. And again, I could sit here all day and just place these bets, but I'm sure you guys are already sick of me talking. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, NHL, esports, whatever, and we can kind of lock in this play. And again, there's more good plays on PrizePicks right now. I kind of consider it like creating a diversified portfolio. I want to place a bunch of bets with an edge. It's just like if you're the best poker player in the world, you don't go to the fucking table. A lot of people will be like, oh, why do you place 5 bets a day as opposed to 1? It's like, if you're the best poker player in the world, you don't go to the table, get dealt 2-7, lose your hand, and then leave. If you have the edge and you're better than the other players, you want to play as many hands as possible because you have the edge, so you know you're going to win long term. You want to play, so when you're a sharp bettor, we want to place as many bets as we can. So like this play has an edge, this play has an edge. Like there's a bunch of plays with an edge. So the more bets, we can get down, the better. And you can see there's a lot of esports value right now. Some good arbitrage bets as well. A money line for Saturday. It looks like Caesars has some pretty good value on Western Michigan, minus 130. It's an arbitrage to DraftKings. Usually money line bets have pretty good betting limits. So obviously it depends on your bankroll, but you bet this for $1,750, make a risk-free $20. I mean, I used to do this 24/7, all day, all night. Just hit these arbitrage bets, make risk-free profits. What's better than that, right? Free money day trading the sports books. I mean, it is insane more people don't put in the time to learn how to arbitrage bet because it's literally free money. It's fucking insane. So anyways, I'm sure there's some more plays out there right now. And again, depending on the books you use, like if I put in FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, this looks crazy good. Jokic over 1.5 threes. You can get this plus 150 on FanDuel. No other book is giving you above plus 144. So this seems like a crazy good play, right? So if you remove the VIG from these other books, you can kind of see what's the true price with the VIG removed. So like Caesars has their market plus 136, minus 189, right? So all this calculator does is it removes the VIG from a sportsbook's market and tells you what the fair or the true odds are. So Caesar Sportsbook, their market is plus 136, minus 189, right? So there's a 53-cent spread in their market, plus 136, minus 189. That's how books make money. They charge a spread, just like a stockbroker. Hey, I'll buy this stock at 10 or I'll sell it at 11. They charge a $1 spread. It's the same thing here. Sportsbooks charge a spread. So we want to remove that spread. It's called a no VIG calculator. This is the most important calculator in sports betting, a no VIG calculator. So you just want to remove the VIG, remove the juice, and you'll see, hey, according to Caesar Sportsbook, the model on Caesars, the true line for Jokic over 1.5 made threes is plus 154. We're getting plus 180 on FanDuel. So we're getting better odds than the true or the fair odds with the VIG removed, right? So the way that sports books work is they have models that spit out, hey, here is what the fair odds are. Sports books work the opposite way, right? Caesars has a model that says, hey, we think this bet, the over should be priced at plus 154. That's the true odds or the fair odds. And then they juice their lines, right? They add the spread in. Just like a stockbroker will be like, hey, I think this stock is worth $100, so I'll buy it for 99 and I'll sell it for 101. The fair price of Facebook right now, where it closed, is 288.35. So what a stockbroker will do is say, hey, I'll buy Facebook for $280 or I'll sell it for $300 because the price is 288.35. They charge a spread. So you want to remove the spread to figure out the fair value, with the VIG removed. So some good bets on FanDuel, kind of a bunch of sports books right now. But anyways, we'll call it a day for now. Oh, fuck. Diamondbacks money line. Is that a play? Maybe for tomorrow. But anyways, I'm going to call it a day. Have a great rest of your evening. Thanks so much.